Do you expect such a big reaction to your comments that governments cannot do everything?
Well, what I was expecting was some very rude remarks, both on Twitter and email, and I certainly got them. But I think actually the person I was directing the attention to has taken some of this on board, and there's been a lot more emphasis on what we can do. I mean, we are facing a very, very tough winter. Make no mistake. The whole of Europe, including us, is at war. We are all at war with Putin, whether we like it or not, whether we approve. It's the Ukrainians that are doing the soldiering, but Putin is using gas. He's using power and energy in order to disrupt life right through the rest of Europe. And he's been doing this for almost a year now because he turned off a lot of the taps last autumn, and that put Germany in a bad spot because they couldn't fill their storage. And of course, the effect of that, whether we like it or not, is international prices go vroom, just like that. I mean, I accept that this government and previous governments should have done an awful lot more to generate energy security. But Mark, when you've got cheap gas, when you've got plenty of cheap gas, then the idea of having energy security just seems a bit dumb. Now we know better. But the idea that really gets my wick is the idea that, governments can wave a magic wand and suddenly everything is going to return back to our normal. I don't think that can be anything like as simple. And I think in the crisis that we're in during this winter, it behooves all of us. And that includes local authorities leaving all the lights on. And I tell you, the lights that are up here are the only lights on in my house right now, and they're LED lights. People have to make that effort if they possibly can. Everybody over 70 knows what it's like to live in a house without central heating. We know what it's like, and we know that with the right sort of steps and some common sense, people will. I hope they will cope, and businesses are going to have to take some tough decisions. But going on about panic and catastrophe, and the government can wave a magic wand, that is deeply unhelpful in my view.
Do you think that the reaction to the COVID pandemic set the precedent for the government being too big and doing too much in our lives, not just restricting our movement, but paying us to stay at home, at normalising state intervention and the borrowing of enormous amounts of money?
Oh, Mark, I couldn't have put it better myself. How wise and intelligent you are. Of course, that's exactly what happened. And the energy crisis does feel a little bit like the COVID crisis, kind of come out of the blue. It's affecting the whole country, affects everybody, rich and poor alike. It affects business very, very badly. By the time we finish this winter, by the time we get to next March, quite a lot of businesses will have folded, and sadly, they'll have folded for good. But what is true is this is not Brexit, as some people would have it. This is something that's affecting other countries, particularly those in Europe dependent on gas, far more. And I'm just a bit worried that a Tory government could just slide into being kind of imitation socialists and just saying, oh, yeah, we can do everything. They can't. And the more you raise expectations that government can put everything to rights without any of the rest of us changing our behaviour, the more that you end up with people not trusting governments because they can't keep those promises.